20 things from the 1990s we can no longer do. Get ready to relive the 90s. We're uncovering 20-plus iconic treasures that have vanished, from dial-up internet sounds to Butterfinger BBs. Grab your Tamagotchi and cue up your favorite grunge playlist as we dive into the nostalgic relics of a decade that time forgot. Butterfinger BBs. These little spheres of peanut buttery delight hold a special place in the hearts of many 90s kids, and who could forget those commercials with Bart Simpson mischievously declaring, "Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger." Because these bite-sized versions were perfect for popping in your mouth, delivering that signature Butterfinger crunch and flavor in a convenient, shareable format, making them the ideal snack for lunchboxes, movie nights, or just satisfying a sweet craving on the go. But despite their initial popularity and clever marketing, Butterfinger BBs ultimately met an untimely demise in 2006 due to a combination of declining sales and challenges in maintaining the quality of that chocolate coating, which, as many remember, was prone to melting. And while Butterfinger attempted to recapture the magic with the introduction of Butterfinger Bites, those smaller, irregularly shaped candies never quite replicated the unique appeal of the BBs. So for those who fondly remember them, Butterfinger BBs remain a symbol of 90s snacking nostalgia, representing a time when candy was fun, inventive, and perfectly portioned for on-the-go enjoyment. And while they may be gone, their memory lives on, a testament to the fleeting nature of even the most beloved treats and the enduring power of childhood snack memories. Do you still remember the taste of Butterfinger BBs? Share your memories with us. CRT monitors. Those of us who spent hours upon hours in front of computers in the 90s remember them well. Those hefty beige behemoths we called CRT monitors. They dominated desks, offices, and homes, their curved screens and flickering images, a defining feature of early computing. Imagine, these things weren't just heavy, they were deep, taking up a good chunk of your desk space. But they were all we knew, their glowing phosphorus dots bringing us everything from the pixelated landscapes of early video games to the blocky text of our first Word documents. Then came the dawn of sleek, slim LCD, OLED, and plasma screens. Suddenly, those clunky CRTs seemed almost comically oversized and inefficient. It was a classic case of technology marching on, leaving behind those once ubiquitous monitors as relics of a bygone era. Sure, a few holdouts, especially die-hard gamers, still swear by the responsiveness and unique visual qualities of CRTs, but for most of us, those bulky monitors are a reminder of how far display technology has come, a nostalgic nod to a time when computers took up a bit more, well, everything. Dial-up modems. Remember dial-up modems? Those clunky boxes were our only gateway to the online world, and if you wanted to check out a new website, probably something with a super basic HTML background and flashing GIFs, you had to first make sure no one was on the phone. Dial-up modems hijacked your entire phone line, meaning any attempt at a phone call would result in a very annoyed family member. Plus, there was that sound, that iconic, ear-splitting screech as the modem struggled to connect, like a robot trying to sing opera. Painful, yet strangely nostalgic now. And even once you were finally connected, forget about quickly downloading anything because we're talking glacial speeds here. A single image could take minutes to load. Thankfully, technology has evolved at warp speed, and today most of us enjoy the luxury of broadband, Wi-Fi, and lightning-fast connections, making dial-up modems mostly relics of the past found in museums, or yes, those remember when videos that make us appreciate how far we've come. Because the shift from dial-up to broadband internet wasn't just about speed. It was a technological revolution that transformed how we communicate, consume information, and even live our lives, as dial-up restricted internet access, making it a privilege rather than a norm, while broadband's widespread availability democratized the online world, enabling new industries, social platforms, and ways of connecting globally. The rise and fall of Encarta. Before Google became our go-to source for everything, and Wikipedia was our digital teacher, there was Encarta, the king of 90s knowledge. Remember those shiny CD-ROMs promising a world of information at your fingertips? Launched back in 1993, Encarta was a game-changer. No more lugging around heavy encyclopedia volumes. Encarta gave us thousands of articles, complete with pictures, videos, and even interactive quizzes. It was like having a digital library in your home, updated every year with the latest facts and discoveries. But then the internet took off, and online encyclopedias, well, they became a thing. Suddenly, information was free, constantly updated and available with a simple click. Sadly, even with its multimedia magic, Encarta couldn't compete. By 2009, Microsoft had to say goodbye to their once revolutionary encyclopedia, proving that even in the world of knowledge, evolution is inevitable. The MiniDisc Era. Remember the days when we actually argued about the best music format? Cassette tapes, CDs. Well, tucked away in the 90s tech battle was the minidisc player, Sony's attempt to revolutionize how we listen to tunes. These sleek little devices played these mini CDs, promising crystal clear sound and the ability to rewind and skip tracks like magic. Sony was convinced this was the future, the next big thing to crush cassette tapes. But there was a problem. Record labels weren't exactly lining up to release their albums on this newfangled format, meaning music lovers were stuck with limited options. And if you wanted to record your own mixtapes on those blank mini-discs, be prepared to shell out some serious cash. They were way more expensive than blank CDs. So while the minidisc found a dedicated following in Japan, it never quite conquered the global stage. And then came the MP3 player, sounding the death knell for the minidisc and many of its disc-based brethren. It was a classic case of bad timing for the minidisc, a technology ahead of its time maybe, but ultimately overshadowed by the digital music revolution. Zima. The 90s, a decade of bold fashion choices, questionable hairstyles, and clear beverages. That's right, the trend of see-through drinks extended beyond sodas and into the world of adult beverages, with Coors Zima leading the charge. Launched in 1994, this clear, fizzy malt beverage was marketed as a refreshing alternative to beer, a lighter, more approachable option for those who weren't quite ready to embrace the bitterness of a traditional brew. While Coors aimed for a broad audience, Zima quickly found a loyal following among young women, drawn to its crisp, citrusy flavor and the cool factor of its unconventional appearance. However, despite marketing efforts to appeal to men, Zima never quite caught on with the broader male demographic. Its unique taste, often described as vaguely citrusy with a hint of artificial sweetness, proved to be a bit polarizing. Some loved it, others found it perplexing, and ultimately, Zima's popularity began to wane in North America, leading to its discontinuation in 2008. But here's where the story takes an interesting turn. Zima found a surprising second life in Japan, where it remained a popular beverage until 2021. This unexpected success highlights the fascinating cultural differences in taste preferences and demonstrates how a product that might flop in one market can become a beloved favorite in another. What is your most memorable experience from the 1990s? Share it with me and our audience. Bell bottoms. These iconic pants, a hallmark of the 70s, made a triumphant return in the 90s, becoming a symbol of the decade's eclectic and expressive fashion sense. Picture this: wide-legged pants that flowed out dramatically from the knee, creating a bell-like shape that swayed with every step. Often crafted from denim or corduroy, they were a comfortable and stylish choice for both casual and dressier occasions. And to truly embrace the 90s vibe, Bell-bottoms were frequently paired with platform shoes, adding extra height and a touch of retro-futuristic flair. Whether you were grooving at a concert, strolling through the mall, or just hanging out with friends, bell-bottoms made a statement. They were a celebration of individuality, a bold departure from the slim-fitting styles of previous decades. The Rachel. The mere mention of this hairstyle conjures images of Jennifer Aniston's iconic character, Rachel Green, on the hit 90s sitcom, Friends. This layered, voluminous hairstyle became a global phenomenon, inspiring countless women to flock to salons and request the Rachel. It was the ultimate symbol of 90s chic, a look that perfectly captured the decade's blend of effortless cool and sophisticated style, characterized by its face-framing layers, feathered ends, and voluminous crown. The Rachel was particularly flattering on women with thick, straight hair, as it added movement and texture without sacrificing body. It was a versatile style that could be dressed up or down, making it a favorite for both casual and formal occasions. While Jennifer Aniston herself has famously expressed her mixed feelings about the hairstyle's popularity, there's no denying its impact on the beauty world. Pogs. These colorful little discs took playgrounds by storm in the early 90s, becoming more than just a game. They were a full-blown phenomenon. Remember the thrill of stacking those cardboard discs, each adorned with a unique design, cartoon characters, sports stars, you name it, and then unleashing the mighty slammer, hoping to flip over as many as possible to claim victory and bragging rights. But Pogs weren't just about simple fun. They ignited a collecting frenzy, with kids trading and hoarding rare discs like precious treasures. And that's where things got complicated. Because let's be honest, those playground matches often involved wagering your hard-earned Pogs, turning a seemingly innocent game into something akin to gambling. Schools naturally weren't having it. The bans started rolling in, and just like that, Pogmania began to fade. While you might still stumble upon these nostalgic discs today, their heyday serves as a reminder of how quickly trends can rise and fall, especially when they bump up against societal norms and schoolyard regulations. Gaming magazines. For 90s gamers, the anticipation of a new game release wasn't just about the game itself, it was about the arrival of that coveted gaming magazine. Back then, video games were still finding their footing in the mainstream, so forget about in-depth coverage on TV or the internet, which was barely a thing. Nope. If you wanted the inside scoop on the latest releases, cheat codes to unlock secret levels, or detailed walkthroughs to conquer that impossible boss, you needed a gaming magazine subscription. Titles like Electronic Gaming Monthly, Nintendo Power, and Computer Gaming World were our Bibles, filled with glossy screenshots, passionate reviews, and even reader-submitted tips and tricks. It was a community, a shared passion for pixels and polygons, all bound together by the printed page. But as the internet exploded, the monthly magazine model couldn't keep up. Why wait weeks for a new issue when you could get instant updates, reviews, and walkthroughs online? It was a sad but inevitable shift, as most gaming magazines faded into obscurity, leaving behind a legacy of crinkled pages, dog-eared cheat code lists, and a reminder of a time when gaming news was a tangible, collectible experience. In the 1990s, how old were you and what job were you doing? Do you have any memorable experiences from that time? Floppy disks. Remember those little squares of plastic we used to carry around like prized possessions? Floppy disks. Despite the name, the 3.5-inch versions that ruled the 90s were surprisingly rigid, holding the precious megabytes of data that made up our digital lives. Need to save your school essay? Transfer a file to a friend's computer? The floppy disk was your trusty sidekick. You'd slide it into that magical slot, the A drive, and with a satisfying click, your data was on the move. These little guys were so ubiquitous that even today, The save icon in many programs is a throwback to that iconic floppy disk shape. But as our need for storage space ballooned from kilobytes to gigabytes, the humble floppy disk just couldn't keep up. They've become a relic of the past, replaced by USB drives, cloud storage, and the vast expanse of the internet. Appointment TV. Remember those days when your social life revolved around the TV schedule, when you actually had to be home at a specific time to catch your favorite show? That was the era of appointment TV. Missing an episode meant missing out on the water cooler conversation the next day, because there was no rewind, no on-demand, no streaming. You either saw it live or you didn't. Sure, some folks mastered the art of VCR programming, a skill in itself. But often, you'd find yourself wrestling with a blinking 12-er and a tangled mess of tape. But there was something special about that shared experience. Millions of people tuning in at the same time, creating a national conversation around the latest plot twist or cliffhanger. Networks thrived on this, pulling in massive ratings for their hit shows. Then came the streaming revolution, and suddenly, we were in control. Binge-watching became a national pastime, appointment TV fading into a distant memory. While some streaming services are experimenting with weekly releases to recapture that old magic, it's unlikely we'll ever fully return to those days of scheduling our lives around the TV guide. But hey, at least we don't have to worry about setting the VCR anymore. Y2K Panic. As the 90s drew to a close, a sense of unease mixed with excitement filled the air. The year 2000 was approaching, and with it, a technological threat that gripped the world's imagination: the Y2K bug. Experts warned that because many computer systems only use the last two digits to represent years, they might confuse the year 2000 with 1900, potentially causing widespread chaos. Imagine power grids failing, bank accounts wiped clean, planes falling out of the sky. The media fueled the flames, painting a picture of a world on the brink of collapse. Some people stocked up on supplies, preparing for a digital apocalypse. Others held their breath as the clock ticked closer to midnight on December 31st, 1999. But then, nothing. The world woke up on January 1st, 2000, and the computers kept humming. Windows 95 3D Maze. Back in the 90s, screensavers weren't just about preventing screen burn-in. They were a form of entertainment in their own right, and none captivated our imaginations quite like the Windows 95 3D Maze. This hypnotic screensaver transformed your computer into a virtual labyrinth where you'd watch, transfixed, as a disembodied cursor navigated a never-ending series of brick walls, searching for that elusive smiley face. It was like watching your computer play a rudimentary video game, always taking left turns, stumbling through the maze until it finally reached its goal and the whole thing reset, starting the journey anew. There was something strangely mesmerizing about it. We'd find ourselves guessing which path the cursor would take, trying to predict when and where that cheerful smiley face would appear. It was a simple concept, yet it held a strange power to captivate us, a testament to the enduring appeal of puzzles and the human fascination with watching things unfold, even if those things are just pixels on a screen. And honestly, who wouldn't want to see a full-fledged game based on this classic screensaver? Imagine navigating the maze yourself, collecting power-ups, maybe even battling virtual enemies along the way. It's a missed opportunity, Microsoft. Delia's catalog. Before the days of Instagram influencers and fast fashion websites, there was one true fashion Bible for 90s teens, the Delia's catalog. This iconic mail-order catalog wasn't just a collection of clothes. It was a portal to a world of cool, a guide to navigating the ever-changing landscape of teenage style. Flipping through its pages was a ritual, a chance to dream up outfits for school dances, weekend hangouts, and all the important moments in a teenager's life. Delia's offered everything from grunge-inspired plaid shirts to butterfly clips and platform sneakers, capturing the essence of 90s fashion with a playful, rebellious spirit. But as the retail landscape shifted, Delia's struggled to keep up. The rise of online shopping and fierce competition from other brands eventually led to its downfall. Despite attempts to reinvent itself as an online-only store, the magic was gone. Please comment 1 to let me know you'll be watching this video until the end. Orbitz. Step aside, Crystal Pepsi. In the realm of weird and wonderful 90s drinks, Orbitz reigned supreme. This wasn't your average soda or juice. It was a flavor adventure suspended in a clear, gelatinous wonderland. Remember those colorful edible beads floating around in the bottle? They were like tiny flavor capsules, promising a burst of raspberry citrus, vanilla orange, or whatever other outlandish combination they concocted. The marketing folks billed it as a thirst quencher and hunger satisfier all in one. But honestly, it was more of a sensory experience than a practical beverage. The texture was unique. Some described it as drinking a lava lamp, others as a science experiment gone deliciously wrong. But despite its novelty factor, Orbitz just couldn't capture the hearts or taste buds of consumers. The strange combination of gel, gum, and a hefty dose of sugar proved to be a bit too out there for most palates. Orbitz quickly faded into obscurity, becoming a legend whispered among those who dared to try it. The iMac G3. This iconic computer wasn't just a machine, it was a statement. Launched in the late 90s, it was Apple's bold attempt to shake up the beige, boxy world of personal computing. Forget those clunky towers and boring monitors. The iMac G3 was a burst of color and personality, its translucent Bondi blue shell and playful, rounded design a radical departure from the norm. It was a computer that dared to be different, a symbol of creativity and innovation. But let's be honest, those early iMacs were also kind of chunky. Remember those handles on top? Yeah, you needed them. These machines weren't exactly designed for portability. They were hefty, and their shape, while undeniably unique, wasn't exactly ergonomic. But that was part of their charm. They were unapologetically different, a playful rebellion against the seriousness of traditional computers. And they were incredibly successful, helping to revitalize Apple's brand and usher in a new era of design-focused computing. Looking back, those colorful iMacs might seem a bit clunky and dated, but they represent a pivotal moment in technology history, a time when computers started to become more than just tools. They became expressions of our personalities and a reflection of our desire for technology that was both functional and beautiful. PB Crisps. Peanut butter lovers, rejoice, or maybe lament, because we're about to delve into the bittersweet nostalgia of PB Crisps, a 90s snack that captured hearts and taste buds, but vanished all too soon. Imagine this: a crunchy, peanut-shaped cookie with a creamy peanut butter filling. It was like a peanut butter cup's quirky, bite-sized cousin, and it was utterly delicious. And if you wanted to take the peanut butter experience to the next level, they even came in chocolate and strawberry-filled varieties. PB Crisps were a celebration of all things peanut butter, a snack that understood the pure joy of that creamy, nutty goodness. But alas, not everyone shared this love. Sales were sluggish, and despite a dedicated fan base, PB Crisps were pulled from shelves, leaving a peanut butter-shaped hole in our hearts and snack drawers. Even today, years after their disappearance, a devoted group of PB Crisps enthusiasts keeps the dream alive, maintaining a website dedicated to their beloved snack and hoping, against all odds, for a triumphant return. AIM, as known as AOL Instant Messenger. For those of us who came of age in the late 90s and early 2000s, the sound of an incoming AIM message was the soundtrack of our digital lives. AOL Instant Messenger, or AIM, as it was affectionately known, was more than just a messaging service. It was a social phenomenon, a virtual hangout where friendships were forged, crushes were confessed, and countless hours were spent crafting the perfect away message. Remember those iconic sounds? The door opening as you signed on, the cheery, "You've got mail" greeting, the urgent, "uh-oh" of an incoming message. AIM was a gateway to a new world of online connection, a place where you could be whoever you wanted to be, with a carefully curated screen name and a profile that showcased your personality, or at least the personality you wanted to project. But as technology marched on, AIM struggled to keep pace. Giants like Google and Facebook entered the scene with sleeker interfaces, more robust features, and perhaps most importantly, better security. Slowly but surely, AIM began to fade, its once vibrant community dwindling as users migrated to newer, shinier platforms. In 2017, AOL finally pulled the plug, bidding farewell to its iconic messaging service with a simple goodbye. It was a bittersweet moment, marking the end of an era for those who spent their formative years chatting with friends, flirting with crushes, and exploring the nascent world of online communication through AIM's familiar green and white interface. Netscape Navigator. In the early days of the internet, a single name dominated the landscape of web browsing: Netscape Navigator. This pioneering browser, launched in 1994, was the gateway to the burgeoning online world for millions of users. It was a time when dial-up modems screeched, websites were a kaleidoscope of flashing GIFs and clunky animations, and the simple act of navigating the web felt like an exciting adventure. Netscape Navigator was our trusty guide, its blue compass logo, a symbol of exploration and discovery. But Netscape's reign wouldn't last. Microsoft, sensing the potential of the internet, launched its own browser, Internet Explorer, bundling it with its ubiquitous Windows operating system. This aggressive move, coupled with the rise of other innovative browsers like Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, gradually eroded Netscape's dominance. The once unstoppable browser struggled to keep up, its updates becoming less frequent and its features lagging behind its competitors. In 2008, Netscape Navigator sailed into the sunset, its development and support officially ceasing. While its demise might seem like a footnote in the grand narrative of the internet, Netscape Navigator's legacy is undeniable. It was the browser that introduced many of us to the wonders of the web, paving the way for the diverse and sophisticated browsing experience we enjoy today. The golden age of video rental stores. For many of us who grew up in the 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s, the Friday night pilgrimage to the local video rental store was a sacred ritual. Remember the brightly lit aisles, lined with rows upon rows of VHS tapes and later DVDs. The smell of popcorn and anticipation hanging in the air. The thrill of browsing the new releases, hoping to snag that coveted blockbuster before it was all rented out. Video rental stores, like Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, were more than just places to borrow movies. They were community hubs, gathering spots where you could debate the merits of the latest action flick, discover hidden cinematic gems, and bond over a shared love of film. But as the internet revolutionized the way we consume entertainment, video rental stores found themselves facing an existential threat. Netflix, with its revolutionary mail-order DVD service, and later, its groundbreaking streaming platform, offered convenience and choice that brick-and-mortar stores simply couldn't match. One by one, the lights went out at video rental stores across the country, leaving behind a void that's both nostalgic and a little bit bittersweet. Today, only a single Blockbuster store remains, a lone survivor in Bend, Oregon, serving as a poignant reminder of a bygone era when movie night meant a trip to the video store, a carefully chosen selection of films, and the shared anticipation of a night spent immersed in cinematic worlds. So, what did we miss? What 90s relics still hold a special place in your heart? Share your memories and forgotten favorites in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. And if you enjoyed this blast from the past, be sure to check out our other videos in this series for more nostalgic deep dives. Don't forget to subscribe to Who Remembers and spread the love by sharing this video with your friends. As always, thanks for watching, and may your Tamagotchi never die again.